Hey guys, it's Mr. Traveler
Hello, everybody.
and ELLE KOS. I just wanted to sit down and talk to you guys because I haven't sat down and talked to you in a very long time, just chit-chatting. And
Mr. Travel Channel.
I always do that on his channel. That's why he's doing that. If anybody followed me for a long time, you know that I always say ELLE KOS Beauty Channel on Mr. Traveler Channel. So I was asked a really good question by one of my subscribers, and she asked, how is it really to live in Florida now that we settled in, and it's been about 3 or 4 months, and we finally finished the move. We in a beautiful place. We looking at the water, and it's really different from where we used to live. I was asked, how is it really living in Florida? Because we have a lot of people who moving down, this year, and they want to know, how is our situation going? What is it really like to live in Florida? So, let's get started.
It's lovely wearing shorts and flip-flops in the middle of January.
I can't believe that it's the end of January. I couldn't believe that it was December, but January is like a regular summer day. Every day. It got cold about 2 days. The weather was really beautiful.
We're further south than Central Florida. This is considered Southwest Florida, where we're at.
We're right between Tampa and Sarasota. It's right down the street from the beach. We're very close to the water. You can hear the birds chirping. You can hear the ducks quacking. I can hear frogs at night. It's totally different from where we used to live. But everybody asks me, well, when did you move? And that's the city that we're in. For now, all we want to do is move to the Atlantic side, and we'll talk about that later. Realize that it's warm all the time. It might be cold in the morning and cold at night, but it's usually the temperature rises about 10.
As soon as that sun comes up.
As soon as the sun is up, you see the sweat on my forehead. It's usually hot here all the time. And I thought that it was a joke before I came. Oh, it'll be okay. I can wear socks, gym shoes, and some jeans. No, it's really hot. It's more humid than anything. It's so humid that when I straighten my hair that night, my hair is frizzy. And it's really warm here. You can drive with the windows down in January. The weather is beautiful.
Yeah, I had the windows down today. It's always like 7. It's like it's been in the 70s for the most part. It got, like I said, it got cool a couple of days.
And Christmas, we were at Disney World on Christmas Day. It was about 85 degrees on Christmas.
To me, that's been like the biggest shock, like culture shock here, is that Christmas was very strange.
It was like another day here, and we always make a big deal of my family. We get together, have breakfast, open up presents, and here it was just another day.
We're so used to having on coats and boots.
Yes.
And we had on shorts and flip-flops, and we went to Disney World. That was really fun.
It was good. The next thing I want to talk about is the tourism and the visitors here. Florida gets a visitor every 2 seconds here. So that'll let you know how many tourists are here a day. There's so much traffic here. I did not believe it before I got here, but it is the truth. What'd you say?
Oh yeah, big time. But it's one of those kind of things. It's like when you're on a cruise and you go to the islands, and the islanders have to put up with the influx of people into the island because tourism makes their economy thrive.
Yep.
I would say the same thing here, because that's probably what affords us to not have state income tax here in Florida, is the tourism industry. But for an example, when we were here in September, my commute took me 10 minutes, and now to do that same commute would take me over a half an hour. So it's a big difference, and a lot of that is not only tourists but also what we call snowbirds.
Yes, snowbirds. They are in the house. I thought before I got here, people would say, oh, snowbirds come here and there. They'll be here, and, they just come in and leave. It's a lot of visitors and snowbirds here. A lot.
So snowbirds are the ones that live up north in the summer, and they come down here for the winter to escape the snow.
Yes.
And we
used to be a snowbird.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Yes. We used to come down, but it's so many.
We haven't gotten to the spring breakers yet. We've been warned about that.
Yes, the spring breakers, they will take over our city. They should be. They should start coming February.
Probably March and April. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe part of February.
Because we live so close to the water. We off the water right now, but we live so close to the beaches and everything right down the street. The traffic is crazy.
So you have to pack your patience with that if you're considering a move to Florida, but well worth it, I think.
There's a good side with the weather, but then there's a trade-off with the traffic. So that's what I'm starting to learn. We already talked about the weather, but the humidity.
I love it.
The humidity is hot. It's hot. I never need lotion because you're always sweating, and even when you're sitting in the sun, it's like a sauna. It's hot, but it's beautiful. The weather is always beautiful. Even on a rainy day, it's humid, but it's beautiful. I'll take it over the snow. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the weather, but I will give this disclaimer: we're 5 minutes from the beach. So on those days when it's 90 degrees, you know where you can find me.
At the beach.
If you live more inland, say in Orlando or something, I would suggest that you have a place with a swimming pool so you can cool off.
Because Orlando is smack in the middle of the state and there is no beaches.
And they don't get much of a breeze there either. Just when it gets hot, it just gets hot.
Yeah, we're about 2 hours away from Orlando, but we're right off the Gulf.
Yep.
The parks. Some people question me, and I had some subscribers even ask me, are you at the parks every single week? Are you at Disney World, Universal? Every week they feel because we live so close to the park that we're there all the time, but we're not.
I like the parks. If I was in Orlando, I would be. I don't know about every day or anything, but I'd probably. Let's see, I would turn it into a YouTube channel.
Yes, we have season passes, so we can go all the time, and people assume that because we live in Florida, we always at the park. We're not. But if we live close to it, we would be.
Yeah, if I was a little bit closer, I would go more. But, I don't know. We might go like once a month or something. That's what we've been doing so far. We've been going like once a month.
Once a month.
If we got like a slow weekend, like, because we got the season pass, we're like, let's go to Universal because it doesn't cost us anything but some gas.
Right. That's true. I love the parks, but like I said, the tourists, oh my God, there's so many people. When we went, it was so packed. On Christmas Day, it was so packed at Disney World, and you can see my video that I take for you guys. I have a video showing all the people who were there. The Gulf side versus the Atlantic side, it's like two different states, really. The Gulf side is totally different from the Atlantic side.
I agree.
What's the difference?
The Gulf side it's a little slower. With the exception of Tampa, it's a little bit slower. It's a little bit more rustic. I'll put it like that. In other words, we can drive about 10 minutes the other way from the beach, and we'll start seeing cows and stuff. There's that difference. There's a difference in music over here.
Yes.
The Gulf itself is different. The water's more of a blue-green kind of a color.
The water is totally different than the Atlantic side.
Yeah, and it's shallow. It's a little bit more shallow and calm on this side. Whereas the Atlantic is more city life. You got some big cities along the way down there. You got your Cape Canaveral. You got your Palm Beach.
Right.
You got your Fort Lauderdale. Your Miami, of course. So it's still. It's a little bit more city. It's not as city as where we were from. Right. But it's still a little bit city. We prefer the ocean. Yes. Anywhere. I
prefer the ocean over a concrete jungle in that.
Yeah. I prefer the ocean over the Gulf, but yeah. I do enjoy my time here without a doubt.
But you love the Atlantic side though.
I do indeed.
We're trying to get to the Atlantic side, but the Gulf is different. It's quiet over here. It's very country. Very rural. Like Mr. Traveler said, it's a lot of cows and horses and things like that, versus the Atlantic side, it's more city, whereas it's more beach and stores and shops, more of that on the Atlantic side versus the Gulf. Here we have to drive far to go to different shops in the malls and things like that, where on the Atlantic side you can just drive down the street. To go to the movies or something like that, we have to drive far here. It's more country on this side. So how is it to live off the water? How is it for coastal living? It's different than living in the city. It's totally different from our old house. We used to live where it was a lot of ranch houses and it was cookie cutter. All the houses was alike. now we're in a sort of a villa, and we share walls with other people. So it's a little different here. Although our villa is nice, a nice size, is actually the same size as our old house, but it's tighter because we have to be in close proximity to other people because there's so many people in Florida.
And we don't have a basement here.
No, we don't have a basement here. We have really close access to the beach and the water. We live off the water, so you have to be the type of person that loves the water to be able to live where we live.
I say the beautiful thing about coastal living is, well, number one is just the beauty. It's wonderful to just be able to go to the beach and watch the sunset, and it's very relaxing.
It is.
Very calming. It's a wonderful thing to have access to fresh seafood.
Daily.
It's a big difference. Yeah, it's a big difference in the taste of the fish here. Huge difference.
I think I would have to do a separate video just on the food alone versus the Gulf side and Atlantic side, because the Gulf side, they have some food over here.
Yes, they do.
Ooh, Lord. But the seafood is delicious, but it's caught daily.
Our pros like way outweigh our cons. We've been trying to get down here for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Our main motivator was getting away from the cold.
Yes, the snow and ice.
I'm sure many of you can relate to that, and that was kind of the main motivator. But also trying to get away from the city.
Yes, I was over it.
But we came down here so much to get to the water, and those are the things that we do. We enjoy being in the ocean. We enjoy being on the beach. We enjoy having seafood. We enjoy not shoveling snow. So all those things outweigh. When you come down here, we found other things that are trade-offs. The groceries here are a little bit higher than back home,
especially on the island.
The car insurance was a little bit higher here, but other things went down. My utilities went way down.
Yes, they're way down.
My paycheck went way up because there's no state income tax. All in all, I don't regret not 1 minute of it.
I don't regret anything. I miss my family a lot, but I don't regret moving here. And like I said before, the concrete jungle is not for everybody. We live in our dream here, and sometimes you have to give and take some things. When you decide to move out of state, it has to be a decision that you're sure of. It's almost like irreversible. Once you get here, you pretty much will fall in love with it if you move into Florida. The whole state I love. And I just realized that I love it here, and I'm starting to get used to it here. I'm more used to it, would you say? Getting used to it?
And that's another thing too, is that you just want to explore your own backyard here. There's
a lot to see.
Much to see.
There's so much to see. Turning into a country girl. I was a city girl when I first got here. Everybody said, "Well, you have an accent. You're from the city." I'm like, "Yep, I'm from the city," but I'm starting to realize that in the country, it's more relaxing. It's more laid back. It's not for everybody, but I love it. And I'll just put me on the beach and I'm fine.
That's
city versus country.
That's the moral of the story. Put me on the beach.
Put me on the beach.
Yeah, it's definitely a different, lifestyle when you're back home, especially this time of year. In January, when the snow and ice is out, and you're in those cold weather climates, people just get so.
They're so mean.
We noticed it last year. We looked at everybody. Everybody was just frowning and miserable, and you get cranky because you got to put all those clothes on and trot through the snow and all that stuff. It's like
you didn't even want to do it. It just makes you. Sometimes your environment makes you feel a little better about where you live. So we love it here. Any other questions of how it is to live here? If you want to see house tour, let me know. I would love to do that for you guys. Or if you have any questions about moving down, if you're moving out of state, it don't have to be Florida, any state. Leave the questions down and I can take care of it for you, me and Mr. Traveler. And thanks for being on my channel today.
You're very welcome. It was hard work getting down here.
It was.
It was a lot harder than I thought it was, physically and emotionally.
Yes, it was.
To come down here, but it has been rewarding.
It's going to pay off in the end, and we have a goal to meet, and we're going to meet it. So that's why we moved. Well, life's short.
Have fun.
Take care. Bye, guys.